Viewer discretion advised.
It was a glorious day on the Southeastern Railway. Presley, the small blue engine, was taking some coal trucks to the coaling depot. The manager was waiting for him and was most pleased.
"Here you go, Ned. Here's the coal trucks you wanted."
"Well done, Presley," said the coal manager. "Now all the other engines can have their bunkers and tenders filled to the brim with fresh coal and no problems whatsoever."
"Thank you very much, sir,"
said Presley as he chuffed happily away. Now that's one way to keep business afloat, he thought to himself. And even then though, it's impossible to not feel cheerful on such a lovely day. Later that day, Presley found Gorford, Jimbo, and Humphrey sitting at the sheds. He was just about to chuff over to the turntable when, whoosh! A wave of steam billowed everywhere.
"Oi! What did I ever do to you, Jimbo?" "Presley, you're on club property. Back it up." "Jimbo, what's the big idea here? How come I'm being kicked out of the sheds?"
Well, if we tell you, will you keep it a secret?
"Well, I guess so."
Very well. Well, it turns out that we're starting a new club.
"Quite right, Humphrey. We're starting our very own super secret tender club." "Wow, how astonishing! Hey, can I join your club?" "In your dreams, Presley. This club is for tender engines only. You got that, Sugar Plum? Oh, so let me get the picture. You won't let me in, but you'll let Gorford and Humphrey in your club?"
You know something? You're right. As far as I know about Jimbo, so far he's been nothing but a dishonest, arrogant brute. Why should we join this club in the first place?
You know, I never thought about it like that, Gorford. Why should we join this club? As far as I know, I should just puff out of this sheds right then and there.
But you know, with a few thoughts swimming around in his smoke box, suddenly a lie flew out of his funnel.
Oh yes, tender engines are usually known for only one subject. They don't shunt their own coaches. Now run along, you little scamp. Why don't you make a club of your very own? "Fine, I will,"
grumbled Presley, and he hurried away to find Tombo and Alfred.
You know, I kind of feel bad for poor old Presley.
Me too, Humphrey. Come on.
The yard has never been the same since this club began, Gorford thought to himself.
"I don't need those tender engines. I'll show them.
Poor Presley was chuffing down the countryside in a bad mood. At last, he found Tombo, Alfred, and Dewey.
"Hiya, Presley." "Oh, hi, Tombo. You guys are hanging out here too?"
"Yes, sirree. We know all about their dumb secret tender club." "Indeed, they just won't let us back in, which is extremely undignifying."
"Ah, great. Here come some tender engines now."
Gorford and Humphrey arrived and decided to apologize.
Presley, everyone, listen please. We would like to apologize for the way we treated you earlier.
Yeah, and as an offer, we left the club.
Oh, okay. But how come you've joined us in the first place, Gorford?
I think I can explain that, said the skinny controller, who had just climbed off of Humphrey. I've heard all about Jimbo's secret tender club, and I may have an idea. So the skinny controller went to a workshop, and the men showed him all sorts of engines. At last, he found the right pair to set Jimbo straight. Tombo, Presley, and all the other engines were waiting anxiously until they heard a whistle they have never heard of before. The skinny controller climbed down from the engine's cab and said, "Now then, I would like to introduce to you all Diego and Danny. They have come from a different railway in Mexico, and they were assigned to help us."
In that case, hola Diego y Danny. Mi nombre es Tombo.
Diego and Danny grinned. "Now you speak our language." "Now then, what can we help you with, mi amigos?" Tombo explained about the secret tender club, and both tender engines were shocked. "Ay caramba, not again!"
Wait, you've heard about the secret tender club?
"Of course, it's worldwide."
Well, I guess the secret tender club isn't so anonymous after all.
Afraid not, Humphrey. Well, anyway, we were thinking about having you disguise yourselves as new members so we can fool Jimbo into closing down the secret tender club, and I think I know how to do such.
Back at the sheds, Jimbo was enjoying himself enormously. He was having the club all to himself when Danny and Diego arrived.
Wait, huh? Who in the blinking heck are the both of you? Hola, soy Danny y Diego.
Your name?
Jimbo. Wait, have the both of you come to join the secret tender club?
"Actually, we have come to shut down the secret tender club," said a stern voice. It was the skinny controller. His message was brief and blunt. It wasn't long before Danny and Diego arrived with a skinny controller, who climbed down. "Good news, everyone! The Super Secret Tender Club has been shut down, and Jimbo will be staying in his shed until he is wanted. It turns out that Jimbo has broken the #1 cardinal rule. No tender engine club member shall make fun of other engines, tenderless or not. And what do you know? Part of the reason as to why he came up with the Super Secret Tender Club in the first place was because he wanted some peace and quiet. Now, with that out of the way, let's all get back to work." Later that day, all of the engines were back at work. Gorford and Humphrey were carrying passengers, whistling to each other as they passed by. Danny and Diego were chuffing down the branch line. Tombo at first was rather anxious about Alexis and Clarissa, but both driver and guard promised to take good care of them. There were fewer trains, but the passengers didn't mind that. They knew that Jimbo was having a lesson. Jimbo was left sitting in the sheds, feeling cold, lonely, and miserable. He wished now that he hadn't been so silly.